The Love Out Loud movement has 10 values that are instrumental to its growth and expansion globally, and the first is honesty. It's so important that we're aligned to our truth when we're bringing this message of love into the world. And honesty as a value of the movement is absolutely imperative if we want people to come together and really feel safe enough to be themselves. The second value of Love Out Loud as a movement is presence. It's essential for us to understand that right now in the world, there's one thing that's unifying us, and that's this present moment. And to be able to come together and really be present here and now, embodied in love, is the most important thing when we're spreading this message of love. The third value of the movement is awareness. Self-awareness is a practice, just like all of these values that make up Love Out Loud. And awareness is crucial because for us to really see love as an actionable skill set, something that we bring to the world proactively, we need to have enough awareness, not just for ourselves, but each other and for the earth and for everything else in our presence. The fourth value of the Love Out Loud movement is to have perspective. And what that means for us at Love Out Loud and for the rest of our community around the world is to really ensure that every time we're making choices, every time that there's a decision at hand, we really think expansively. What is the long-term implications of making this decision? How can love become the ultimate perspective in us when we're making our choices day to day? The fifth value of the Love Out Loud movement is truth-seeking. And what that means for us is in a world that is constantly trying to take us away so often from our own center, our own inner truth, it can not only be really hard to connect to that in ourselves as the meditator, as the observer, as the lover, it can also be really hard to connect to that in others. So having a truth-seeking nature is to see beyond the judgment, see beyond the bias, and really connect to someone in the essence of who they are. The sixth value of the Love Out Loud movement is unified, and the way that we define unity is understanding that we live in common unity, that there's an importance of existing in community and to make choices from a mindset of I'm part of humanity as a whole, and every single choice that I make has an effect that extends so far beyond me. The seventh value of the Love Out Loud movement is to be universally focused, and that means a remembrance that you have an infinite potential inside of you, and to not ever limit the way that you dream, the way that you express yourself, to be able to completely unapologetically live out your wildest imagination through the lens and the action of love. The eighth value of the movement is to be creative and purpose-driven, and we believe that when you tap into that self-love, that love that is your nature, that exists inside every single one of us, you will naturally have an overflow that is driven by purpose and so immensely creative. We fundamentally understand that as creatures that have so much potential, there is so much creativity in us just waiting to be expressed into the world, and we want to do that out loud. The ninth value of the Love Out Loud movement is to be divergent and entrepreneurial thinkers. And there's a lot of challenges that we face as a generation, as a world, as a humanity today. And in order to solve that, we need to break out of this conditioned way of thinking. We need to think beyond our limitations. We need to understand that there's infinite potential inside of all of us, and that inside all of us, there's a risk-taking self, a self that is prepared to be a pioneer and look beyond the horizons of anything that's ever been created. And this is the sort of way of being that we really need in order to impact 350 million people by the end of next year. The 10th value of the Love Out Loud movement, and arguably the most important value, which is of course out loud, to love out loud, to be courageous enough to reach inside of you, to find the essence and truth of who you are unapologetically, and be brave enough to confront all of the limitations that are currently standing in your way in gifting yourself, your presence, your love to the world. So out loud is to be the fullest expression of you.